Roy boy, how we doing?
So I'm tired after a 7-day bender.
What'd you do all these 7 days?
Um, Monday was Memorial Day, so he came back from Vegas. Tuesday, went to see Boombox Cartel. He had like a techno house set. That was pretty sick. Wednesday was a birthday dinner to pull up my boy. Shout out Josh. Thursday, that's when we saw each other at the Coliseum. It was like
Oh, that was random.
supposed to be like a Minecraft party or something. Expecting a bunch of cosplaying nerds, but nah, bro. Skrillex pulled up, Jamie XX, Zach Bea, and it was free.
Never in my life I'd ever think I would get to see Skrillex on a Thursday night.
Bro, we were like
Because
2 feet away.
literally, we
That's
could
the
touch
craziest
him.
part. Yeah.
Just because it was the creator of Minecraft and his birthday and the free event he does.
Bro, he's a baller. I respect him though. If I ever make it that far, I'm gonna throw the biggest party in LA too for free for everybody. But yeah, and that was an insane night. But that really took a toll on me for sure.
Because it was free bar and everything. Free bar, free food.
Open bar, free entrance, yeah, free food, free vibes. Just everything.
Shout
man.
out to your homie who's sending out the smiley face stickers. That was the
He's
funniest things I've ever seen.
he's like a DJ. I actually just met him like the night before.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, but
Okay.
he's really cool. And then I saw him again yesterday, and like, good vibes. Just attract good vibes, man. But he's sick. And then Friday had AK Psy formals, and then Bear Grylls. That was pretty crazy.
You went from Riverside, right?
No, it was actually in LA, downtown LA. Thank God. I don't know if I would have drove all the way over there and then came back. That would have been some hustle. But there's some other weekends for Riverside, but not that one for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of see why people didn't like freshmen back then. But
Too young, they're babies now, and their mind's not fully developed.
dude, I feel old as shit. Like I felt like a chaperone hanging out with these kids. Like I felt like the advisor when you gotta like bring people, like when you plan like a school event.
And yeah, we're in our sophomore year of adulthood right now.
Yeah, I was just like, oh God, like that was me. But it was pretty. It was interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else. But that was Friday, and Saturday was like Pride, and then
That was in
and
WeHo,
then-
right?
what's up?
Well, that was in WeHo, the parade.
I was in WeHo, another free event, handing out freebies, and it was a good vibe. I was just like drunk as hell, like 5 p.m. They closed off all the streets, like one of the main streets. It was pretty cool. And then afterwards had another birthday thing, and then Sunday here we are.
Yeah, here we are. This man came over to my place, crashed on my couch while I was at Cave On. Thank God I left the door unlocked.
Thank God, bro. I was just chilling here for like an hour by myself or something. I literally waited up for a parking spot out down there for like half an hour. Some lady just got in her car. I'm just like, is she leaving? Like she was just like had the car on. I was like so tempted to just go like knock, but I don't know if she's gonna like shoot me.
Dude.
You don't know.
I swear to God, you were probably the busiest man I know.
Gotta
Like
stay busy.
every
man.
single day, I'm like, if I want to hang out with you, I have to hit you up like 2 weeks in advance, and then I have to. And the thing is, I have to meet you. It's very rare because you're like, I'm planning this, I'm doing this. Just come with me to this.
The only way to make like to fit in all this like stuff, like and to keep myself busy and to make it happen is to be organized, which is why I need a calendar of all the things I need to go to, why I need to have people ask me about things ahead of time, because I like to just be organized. I like to just plan. Like I'm just naturally the rave dad in every situation. So it's just, I feel like, yeah, like that's the only way to do it.
Why do you always want to keep doing events? Why do you always plan so much and never rest?
Well, first of all, anything to feel something. Second of all,
Damn.
live every day like it's your last, because you never know what's gonna happen. Like life, it starts easy and it also ends easy. Like so do the people around you and stuff. But so you just really gotta appreciate every moment. Like and I just know that like if I like die any day, like no one should feel bad for me or sad for me because I died young, because I feel like I feel so fulfilled already. I've done everything I wanted to do. Like, maybe I'm not successful, I'm not like balling like that, but like in terms of life experience, in terms of the people I've met and the impact I feel like I've had on people around me, like I feel like I've done enough and played my part.
How did you how did you figure out that philosophy?
Literally just an acid trip, man. I just being woke is a real thing. Like, it's just the first time like I did it was maybe like a year and a half ago. And then it was just like I was actually in a bad mental at that time, and I was like down bad. Like I was like, well, I guess I'll just like keep surviving and see where this goes, you know? And then drop the tab acid. Can't do shrooms because I'm allergic.
Oh yeah, true. This man will literally die if his tongue touches a mushroom.
My final destination for sure. But yeah,
that's how you go.
Yeah, God nerfed me, bro. Nearly did it on accident in Amsterdam one time because I got offered, and my boy Logan saved me. But
shout out Logan.
Shout out Logan. But yeah, and then I just had a lot of reflection during that time. I don't know, for all you people that have ever done it, like, you probably know how slow time moves when you're under the influence of that. And I had a lot of time. Like, I felt like like 1 hour in real time literally felt like maybe like 5 hours, like, in my mind. And I was able to think over a lot of things. I helped, like, I was able to just like fix a lot of like internal problems and just a lot of self-reflection, and it was honestly just super helpful, you know.
Take us through the whole process. How did that go? Like, how did that go for you? Did you, when you went into it, did you have any idea what to expect?
I'm not gonna name any names in case they don't want to be like, you know.
Oh yeah, no, of course, keep it anonymous. That's fine.
Homie A was just like, hey, yo, I'm gonna try acid with my roommate, and it's gonna be my first time. And he's like, invite more homies, and so he invited me, and I'm like, all right, down. So I pulled up, and then homie B was the plug, and then but he's the guy that knew all the stuff. He knew a lot about it, and I was pretty anxious going into it at first because I heard how people, once you go into it, like, you become a different person. And it's not always guaranteed, like, it's not always guaranteed, like, oh, I'm gonna become way better. I'm gonna become like figured out, like, you know. Some people, they get fucked from it too, you know. So it's kind of a gamble, and I was just like, I live with the mentality is like, I feel like I gotta try everything one time to really like figure out whether or not it's for me, you know. And so I was like, all right, let's just do it, you know. Let's see it. And I was especially worried because it's like my mentality, my mindset was not that great during that time too. But I'm just like, all right, like, this guy seems to know what he's doing. He literally came super prepared. He had like books for me to read, like certain pages, like bookmarked, and he was like, all right, this is all you got to know. And one thing he like kind of drilled into me is that not every trip is never going to be the same. Whether it's the same person doing it, whether it's the same like setting, same like people around you, every trip is different, and you just gotta go into it open-minded, like sort of not expecting it to go a certain way. You know, I've had good trips, I've had bad trips, but and it's the same like dosage. It's like the same, like almost like the same situation, and it could just be a little thing that really like either send you spiraling or just like you're having a blast, you know. And fortunately for me that time, like I could tell for moments like I was sort of spiraling into like deep thinking and like so like I guess like really negative aspects within my mind, and he would pull me out of it. He would like come and distract me. He would like try to like force a conversation somewhere else. He would like fuck around and give me these like, he tripped me the fuck out. He's really good at like messing around with me, like, and that's where I feel like I got a lot of my tricks from when I bring out to raves. He had these like little hands. Oh. And like I was like, yo, this is like cool shit, you know. And then I would like turn away and then like look around for a second, and then within my little hand is another little hand. even smaller little hand. So it's like a little like inception thing. It just like it was like the Russian nesting dolls, like
Just hands.
yeah, like two little hands. So I just got one on my finger, and then on my little hand, the finger, there was another little one, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, and then, obviously when you're sober, you're like, the hell is this? You're like, yo, you good, bro? Like, but when you're tripping, you're just kind of like, at least for me, I just like laugh at everything. I'm just like, wait, I like can't believe it. I'm like, mind is blown. Like, I'm just confused, and I feel like confusion is funny because it's just, I feel like I expect so many things in life all the time, and like I'm so ready for every situation. When I'm tripping, I'm not. I'm like anything could literally happen, and it would just be funny. And I like the element of surprise. But yeah. So he was like there. He was like a trip sitter basically.
Right.
Even though he was tripping with me. You kind of can't be like a trip sitter but completely sober. I feel like you don't really understand what the other person might be in their state, because it does take a while to hit. And for those of you that don't know, like each trip lasts for a long time. Like it probably in your system for like 12 hours. It's not like, oh, I'm a opt out, like
No.
like task manager and like escape. No, you can't just end it like that. You're in it for a hot second. So if you're ever gonna start, you gotta start early.
Right.
Else you're never gonna sleep too. And we started at like 5 p.m. and I still couldn't sleep the entire night. And we ended up like just go hiking like to like a mountain across the Getty. We just watched the sunrise from there.
Oh, nice.
Pretty chill moment. And then and he was just like, so like, remember this moment, let's go find like a rock, like just like
to keep with you.
Yeah, because usually he trips like outdoors. He like finds something that he could hold on to, like to have like that comfort to like, I guess, kind of like ground himself that he's still in reality. And so I found like a little rock that just fit in my hand perfectly, and I still have it to this day, just to remind me of like that moment, and because I feel like it really did change me for the better. If it's for the worse, I wouldn't try to. But I don't know how to judge. Like,
you probably wouldn't do it again.
Or, like, yeah, I would be scared. I'd be scarred. And people do have those experiences, and yeah, it really doesn't matter in what kind of setting you're doing it in. Like, would definitely recommend a more enclosed setting or like a controlled area. Like, you could be outside. You could just as long as you're not being distracted by anything. Like if you go to like Joshua Tree, that's like the go-to,
Right.
It's just somewhere beautiful in nature where it's just like you and like yourself and your thoughts, and not like going to like a festival. There's so many like stimulants like around you. Like,
yeah, it's very overstimulating. You just just very anxious, become very anxious.
Yeah, like my friend that tripped for the first time, she did it at Countdown, and
oh Christ,
she literally thought it was raining blood at one point because of like the lights, and like it's just like the visuals were kind of crazy, and it was really bad for her. But she got to do it again in another setting, and then it was a lot better, and I was happy she was able to like sort of overcome that like fear or whatever. But yeah, I guess that kind of like just sums up my experience.
So input output. When you came into the trip, you were one way. What changed on when you finished the trip? That solidified you to continue taking it 12, 13 more times. Like you said one time, like, oh, every weekend, man, I trip. I look at you with these like the biggest eyes. I'm like, bro, you good, man?
Definitely a little bit intense for a hot moment. I'm a lot more chill now. I've been sober for a while. Sober from that stuff. I still drink and smoke weed. Like, just like,
I like the party.
Yeah.
The
But
stuff.
definitely not addicted to anything, which is why I can do things in the first place, because I know I have good self-control by myself. But one thing that definitely changed was sort of like how I saw the people around me. I feel like I used to care so much about just like, meeting a lot of people, like, and like just knowing everybody, and like being a people person, like just satisfying all those around me, like making people happy, whatever. And even though it is like cool to like put people first and all that, it's just impossible to do that for everyone, And I started like thinking about like, I'm like, damn, like I'm tired. Well, I'm like always tired, but like but I'm like so tired. And like even like post college, and just like thinking about all the people that I met in all my college years, high school years, all my time in Hong Kong, and I'm like, damn, I know a lot of people, but a lot of people like consider me like, oh, like we're homies, we're friends, and all that. And I'm like, are we though? Like, I'm like, yeah, we had class together, yeah, we see each other at parties, but like, are we actually that close? You know? And I feel like a lot of people make that mistake too, because they're like, oh, Roll, you know so many people, you have so many friends, but in my mind, I actually feel like I don't. I feel like I'm trying to cut my circle a lot smaller. Nowadays, I kind of do like a top 50 list of like people I want around my life, you know, like my friends and stuff. And I know 50 is a lot of people, but I grew up in Hong Kong too, and I went to college here, and then I'm at raves like every weekend. So like I meet a lot of people for sure. And people on this 50 list, it's not like a ranking. It's not like, oh, you're number 1, bro, you're number 2, or you're like you're number 50, you're about to drop off, bro. Like
You're on the cusp, you're about to get relegated.
I'll be like, yo, just slide me 50. You're $50. You're gonna stay on it though. Like, you know, I got you. You know, it's kind of like once you're just like in it, like you're just like in it. Like, and these are the 50 people that I really like would dedicate a lot of time, effort, like care for. Because every day you only have so much time, 24 hours a day. Other maybe like a leap year or something like that. So you have like some extra time, like daylight savings, all that, you know, like
right.
Other than those like special situations, you usually have 24 hours a day, and I usually have so much energy and time because I still work and stuff, and like allocated to these people. And even though people on this list, they might still be in Hong Kong, or I haven't seen them for years. Literally, one of my friends is on this list. I've seen her 3 times. I met her 3 times in person, and she's one of my best friends. I still talk to her. It's funny because we've only met in like Hong Kong from like an internship, and then when I studied abroad in Europe, we met up in France. She made me like a cool denim jacket. She does like upcycling, like
oh nice
out of jeans and stuff. Had Purple Perfection on like the back, like super sick. And then she came to California for her 23rd birthday. Wore like a Michael Jordan jersey. She was really into that stuff, like Jordans and all that. And so we literally met on 3 different continents, like 3 different times. And last time I saw her, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And yeah, she's older than me by like 3 years. But she's still one of my best friends. I still talk to her. My mom still talks to her. It's like, kind of interesting, and she's super cool. But going back to the main point is that I don't have to see these 50 people every day, you know, like for them to be on the list. They're just people that I know will be there when I need them, or if they need me, I'll reciprocate just as well. But I only want people around me that are positive. I want people that can be able to help me, and I want people that are just genuinely good people, you know. And like I pride myself in my friends. You know, when people are like, oh, I love your friends, like that makes me the most happy. That is like probably one of the biggest compliments. I'm like, hell yeah, I kind of like tailored that group together, you know? And this 50 list is not like, oh, like once you're on it, you're chilling, you know? Like at the end of every month, I think about like the 50 list. I think about who might be added onto that, who might be removed, because it's not going to go to 51. Not going to go to 52. This year, I'm going to try to cut it to like 45, and I'm still gonna try to keep my circle a little bit smaller, but if you're on that list, man, like I love you a lot, you know. Like I give my best. Like I'll make sure you're okay. I'll take care of you when I can, sort of thing. So that's definitely probably one of the biggest things that came out of like these trips.
Just focusing on who you want to devote your time to, who you want to spend your time to, your energy.
Quality over quantity, you know.
Yeah.
You meet people all the time, like. You can meet people that are like fun, that are cool, that are fashionable or rich all the time. But how many of those people are good?
Right.
You know? And I feel like meeting a genuinely good person is so much harder than meeting all of these other people. So, yeah.
Incredible, dude. It's funny enough, it was interesting when you were talking about your friend that you only met 3 times. You still keep in contact with her from HK and then going abroad. That's insane for me to think about.
Yeah. Because
not people do that. Like when they think about in terms of having a quality friendship, they always want to see whether it's spending quality time. But you've been able to find that with this person, even though your quality time in terms of it being in person was spent only 3 times in the span of 5 years, 6 years.
And it's funny because quality time is one of my probably like the top 5 like love
Love
languages.
languages, right?
Yeah, like it's definitely either like it's probably my second one. I think acts of service is my first one.
That would actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's all about like what I can do to help people out. I like to give before I ask, you know? I like to I don't want to be that guy who's like hit someone out of nowhere and be like, yo, what's up, man? Like, it's been like 6 years and like, oh, everything's cool, but can I ask you a favor? And it's not like, oh, can you like my picture or something? Like, it's like, yo, can you like lend me like $15,000 or like, can you?
Oh,
ask
Jesus.
Oh, no one's done that.
Oh,
But
I was
that's an
like, hey,
example.
yo.
But I mean, like, people have asked about that type of things, you know, like, and at least me personally, I feel like I can never just do that, you know. I feel like unless I establish a close enough relationship and I know I've done enough for that person for me to be in a position to ask, or unless I'm like really, really in need. Like I almost like never ask for help, you know. Like I just like I'd rather struggle alone sometimes, which is like kind of bad. But
I was gonna say that it's typically not really a good thing, you know. Ask for help or like receive the help when you're able to.
But there's definitely a few people that like my go-to, like if I do need something for sure, I would ask them, you know. But like I wouldn't if I didn't have to, sort of thing, you know. So yeah.
Insane, man. Hey, were there any visuals when you go through the trip?
So I'm naturally a very visual person.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like I'm so good at directions. So as a Rave Dad, I'm like, I just know EDC or like NAS event like super well. I just know where everything is. I literally just have to walk a street like one time and I probably
you remember
see
it,
it above, like it's kind of like a GTA map. Like
get
like that mini map on the side. I can see it from above and I know where everything is. But so I'm super visual. That's why I'm also like not the best at like listening or something, because if it's just like hearing or I just have to memorize it like that, I feel like I wouldn't be able to process it as much versus seeing. So sometimes I meet somebody, and their name is like super cool or like exotic, not just like Adam. Sorry to all the Adams out there, but like if it was something like super unique, you know, I would have them like spell it out for me.
Yeah.
For me to like know like what it, like how to really like say it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but going back to your thing, like yeah, I'm like super visual. I feel like I saw like God. I feel like over a few beings for sure, and I definitely feel like I've seen like because sometimes I feel like I just have like visions of things, like even when I'm sober. So I like it's kind of fucked, but I feel like it confirms that I have like these like other consciousness, like but visualized, and I'm able to like have conversations with them, and I just know that there's something out there, whether it be God. I'm a Christian, so I do believe in God. I do believe in like Holy Spirit and something. But whatever it is, I believe there is something out there that like, you know, sometimes speaks to me or like guides me or like gives me advice. And it's not me, because I wouldn't take my own advice sometimes. But yeah, I definitely see a lot of stuff. And what I tell my homies is that like, because every time I do like a trip, I can't ever use my phone. Because everything is so squiggly and stuff. Like I tell them I call it I see noodles. Because everything is just like wiggly. You know, like have y'all ever watched Rick and Morty? Like all like the weird like jumping into like different timelines or like portals scenes, like where they're all like warping and stuff. they literally like they kind of look like that. It's super colorful. It's like yeah, they're just like so smooth and like it's really interesting. But people see different things, you know, but I feel like I just see the same type of things pretty frequently, or it's because my subconscious like just expects them, so it just generates them. And I remember at one time when I was tripping over my homie B's place, he had a VR headset, and there's this open like kind of like space, like kind of like draw. I think it was like almost like a Google SketchUp sort of thing. And I was like, I'm gonna draw a world for you guys so you guys can see what I'm seeing, you know? So I started like drawing stuff, you know, like just immersive, because then you can rescale it and stuff.
Wait, through the VR?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I used to like do a lot of like VR stuff for Pepperdine, like the Genesis Lab thing. Yeah.
I do
for like the
that.
TEDx event, I made like a giant like TEDx world. And I was like, all right, can't let this like art binder go to waste, you know, like let's do something with it. And so I was just like drawing like kind of like just what I would usually see at like a festival. Everything was like a lot more smooth. Everything would be broken down in like not details but like more simple pieces, just a lot of colors. And then for like people I'd like just trip with, and they would like just like put it on, just like get a sit like in it, and just like look all around you and just kind of see everything. And then they're like, wow, okay, I see why you call them noodles, you know, because it literally is like just very like just like thin lines but colorful and like squiggly. Obviously, it doesn't move around like in real life, but it was just a kind of like a good way to present like a little bit of my mind
for them
know?
to step
Yeah,
literally to the sense of into your world,
exactly.
to get immersed in it.
Yeah. So that was kind of my way of sharing that. But
So you being a visual person too, I'm transitioning over. You being a visual person too, no wonder you love EDM so much, because the visuals is like honestly probably half the reason why a lot of people even love to go to sets.
yeah, visuals definitely do change it. Like like the lasers, bro. Like sometimes. Like,
Well, was that Subtronics, right? Subtronics lasers or Excision lasers?
Subtronics lasers pretty crazy. But Excision is a different beast. He's the one. He's the OG one, man. Do you know Thunderdome?
Mm-mm.
It's probably like at the Tacoma Dome in Seattle. Probably one of the coolest like raves I've been to. It's indoors and it's like just like the craziest lasers. Like I wouldn't even know how to describe it to you. You probably have to like pull up a video and look it up.
I mean, the one from Base Canyon was pretty insane.
I thought that was gonna be the most insane, but but Thunderdome, bro, that was way crazier, man. Like it's just, cause yeah, it's just cause it was just a controlled space and lights would just reflect and bounce off, come from different angles. Base Canyon, what made it so different was just like the fact that it was at the Gorge Amphitheater and it was off like the cliff side of like Washington or something, and then you just see nature, like just like there's bass and degenerates and then nature, like and it was just beautiful. And but like all these ravers are so like plur and they're so like they're just so friendly,
Yeah.
and it's just so out of your way where it like kind of filters out all like the casuals that are just like they're like, oh, I'm gonna just swing by to listen to some music, it's like people were dedicated to like this type of genre, to like Excision, to like just having a good time, and yeah, and everyone's just great there. I think the community plays a bigger part than the visuals in terms of like the raves. But visuals are pretty crazy.
Is that what drives you more towards EDM? Do you like the music, the visuals, or the people?
Yeah, so I used to listen to a lot of first pop to stay relevant because like just like when I go to clubs and stuff, playing like top 50 hits, like I'm just like I gotta know like who the hell like Ice Spice is. And then I still listen to a lot of jazz when I'm more like chill and stuff. Usually more on my own, just like relax and stuff.
That makes sense now.
Yeah. And then I listen to a lot of rap. But rap is kinda like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hype myself up, I'm be doing stuff, and then but then I went to a lot more like rap festivals, and I'm just like, damn, like it's like you're like kind of not it. And y'all saw Astro World, like I literally got Astro Worlded at Playboy Cardi's set at Rolling Loud 2 years ago.
Oh my god!
I was at the front. I was literally at the rail for Playboy. And I never felt so scared in my life. I literally opted myself to leave the rails to try to leave the crowd and just watch it from the back. Because I literally kept getting pushed over. I got like trampled. People were stepping on like my calves and stuff. Like because my knees were like getting bent. And like it was an entire mess. And people were literally getting hurt. And it's not like Playboy cares, like, yeah, rage, like, whatever, like, like, fuck people, that type of thing, And then there's, like, raves, and obviously there are mosh pits, but it's not, like, the entire area is mosh pits, and if you fall in a mosh pit at an EDM concert, people will pick you up.
Yeah.
If you fall in, like, a rap festival or something,
you'd be stomped on.
Yeah, people step on you. People would be like hopping on you to get more like vertical or whatever, like
to see over everyone else.
People literally stop like the emergency vehicles like from helping people because they like literally got in the cars and stuff at Astro World, and like, they literally were jumping on it because they think they're cool, It's like that type of thing where I'm just like, all right, like I'll listen to rap on my own. Like I'm not gonna go to like places like the Camp Flognog or something. Like my homie was inviting me. I was like, nah, I'd rather just go to another like rave, because the community is like really great. And most of my friends nowadays, like I met them through like either like an EDM event or like my best friends I literally met at a club because they were like rolling and I was just like I was like checking on them like because then yeah like they're just like two girls and then they just did not look okay I'm just like
yeah, they were rolling too hard.
yeah I'm just like looking back I'm like y'all definitely on some like you guys good like want me to get you some water or something like that and then I just like yeah they're okay and then like they're like oh cool like you seem like you know a lot of this stuff I'm like unfortunately yeah I do.
So you've transitioned to being a rave dad.
I feel like I've always just had that within me. I also feel like I'm low-key like repenting. Like I was just like my freshman year I was a mess, like and I'm also from Hong Kong, so I've been like clubbing since I was like 15. Like I got all this stuff like out of my system, like I felt like I just experienced it early on. And I'm like, okay, cool, like that's what it's like, versus here Americans like we go study abroad, they're suddenly illegal because it's 18 like plus, and then and they just get shit faced because they've never had like a shot before or something, like it's so I felt like I had that advantage like just to experience it earlier on. So now I'm just like cool with it, and I feel like you really master partying when you can party sober. And I went to this last EDC sober. I went to Beyond sober, and I like, even though I don't prefer to be carrying bodies around like the entire like festival, or like I don't want to miss sets, I still want to make sure they're okay though, like I feel like if no one's gonna do it, I have to do it, like I obviously wish like I could just like not have any responsibilities and just be free, go with the flow, but then I've tried that before and it's like a lot less enjoyable for me. I'd rather put in the extra effort to see who I want to see, to make sure everyone's okay and be efficient with it. So yeah, that's kind of my little transition and my like who I am nowadays.
Nice, man. And you showed me your list of the whoever you're gonna see of 2022, 2023 in terms of artists. Who have been your favorite? Like, give me a list of your top 5 that you've seen.
My top 5. So last year I saw 75.
75?
Oh, 73. 73 shows.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Right now, this year I'm at 35. So I'm like, and it's like almost halfway through the year. So I'm like, damn, my goal is to not beat it this year. To chill out because I got a girl and all that. And I'm just like, but I'm so close. But I'm on track, like just the trend says I'm gonna beat it. Like, but probably my favorite one ever was probably Subtronics at EDC last year. It was I just got into like all this dubstep like bass heavy stuff in the beginning of last year, and I used to listen to a lot more like the simp stuff like Millennium Griffin, like Dabin, all that like basic stuff, but I still do, but now I feel like I have way more fun of a time just breaking my neck at these festivals, like just honestly just like yeah just like vibing with people, just dancing, rather than just like singing like words I can listen to in a car, Yeah. But obviously those sets are nice if you're like with like homies, if everyone knows who you're seeing, if everyone knows the words, or if you're with a girl. It's like a cute moment, I have a lot of those type of videos. But then if you don't know the artist and they just play bass, it doesn't matter. No, there's like no words. Like the words are probably like fuck or like mosh, like no one cares about the words. It's just all about the vibe, and everyone gets that vibe universally. But yeah, so my favorite one's probably Subtronics EDC because that really changed me, and I'm like a Subtronics fan forever now. Saw him like 11 times. Since last year.
Oh my god.
And I saw him 3 times this year at EDC because he had his own set. He had a Grizztronic set, and then he had a Subtronic set, which was Subtronics with John Summit.
I thought John Summit came during his Subtronic set, right?
Yeah, so they played a little back to back for a little bit, and then John Summit had his own set.
I saw that on YouTube.
That was
definitely
insane. My favorite, yeah. And my second favorite is probably Grizz. Grizz is my favorite artist. He's this gay saxophone guy, but he's like so positive. He's such a vibe, and like I love jazz anyways, and he has kind of like this like very like funky like sort of like vibe to him, like on all his songs, like the and yeah, it's just great to listen to. It always just gets you so like positive, and it's just like the fans are the best. I got to see Grizz at EDC this year. I made so many friends around me. Like, literally had such a good time. Was able to, like, because my two friends, Jamie and Katrina, like, they always hear me talk about him. They're like nonstop. I literally fly around for this guy. I literally flew to Philly for him.
Oh, was it Philly?
Well, I flew to New York and then drove to Philly.
Okay.
At the end of the last year, and then yeah, I went to Hard Summer last year just for him, and I'm going to Baltimore again this year just for him. So like I do a lot for this guy, you know, and like I hope he notices me, Grizz. But yeah, but I love him so much. He's like the best. And my third favorite is probably Excision Detox set. It's not his typical like Excision stuff. There's like no words. There's not any of his famous songs. There's like one song, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just to make noises. Like it's just like you can't look it up. Like how do you look up like blah 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 blah? Like even my friend who's an Excision stan, like he doesn't know what it is. Like we've seen him so many times and we hear it all the time. We just can't ID that track. But I saw that at Bass Canyon, and that was just crazy. Like the sounds were so loud. Like the vibes were crazy, and I was definitely under the influence of stuff too. But then I was like, okay, I can't let that be the judge of like, you know, how much I like it. And I saw it again at the Thunderdome thing. He played a very similar thing with back-to-back Legal Stranger, and it was still amazing. And but yeah, those are my top three, and then Elenium falls somewhere around there. I've also seen this guy like 11 times.
You met him recently too.
Yeah. He signed some of my jerseys. Shout out Nick, bro. Like he's cool. Yeah. So that was a cool like free like set, and then what would be a fifth one? I think a fifth one would probably be like Nightmare.
Nightmare was awesome. I loved him at Beyond.
Nightmare was great. Like he was just super amazing. I saw him like the set that I'm talking about is the one in Santa Ana. It was pouring rain that day, and then the show literally had to be stopped because there was like a lightning storm, like a thunderstorm, and then it was obviously for the safety of the DJ and all that. So we had to literally go inside the observatory, just camp there because that took place outside. But we had to just stay inside for like 30 to an hour, and then and then they're like, okay, whatever, like. Let's resume everything. Come back out, still raining. But then that lineup was just so crazy. Like, and obviously we were bummed because we had to like miss part of like Trivecta's set he was playing that day. So only got like maybe like 20 minutes, but absolute banger. And then Nightmare came out, and I was sober for this too. Well, I had to sober up after all that waiting, all that rain and all that stuff, you know. But my entire group, we were all sober. We were all just drenched, cold as hell. Well, we're not cold in that moment because we we're all just like vibing so hard. And probably one of my core memories, just because it was just like, it was just so much fun, and we didn't need anything else but each other, you know? So that was a great time. And
what's another thing that's crazy to me about you is if life was an outlet, you're the plug. Because you know half of like I want to say half of LA, more than half of LA, and if there's an event, you're there, and it blows my mind. Every single day, I'm like, okay, and you posting your story too. Like, I wonder what Roy's doing. Oh, okay, he's doing this. Oh, okay, he's doing that. And then you've taken me to 2 meet and greets. Oh, one was like a clothes drop. I forgot what it was.
The Keizo thing.
The Keizo thing was crazy.
Yeah.
I literally thought I was like, okay, cool. Like it was
go buy some clothes.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing
like
I've ever witnessed in my life. Like obviously, you got to the front, and then you did like a clothing drop. And it was just a bunch of random boxes, and it was like a frenzy, free for all. Everyone pick whatever they want. Hockey jersey.
It was like a Salvation Army.
Yeah,
and like it's just like a donation.
But I mean, everything was cheap. Like I bought a Pashmina. It was super cool, and then I got it signed later. But it was like a meet and greet, and then I got the craziest set. When we went up to the top floor of the academy, it was Keizo, and then later he brought on back to back. I forgot who.
Rave Opie.
Yeah, Rave Opie. I'm like, what the? Like,
He's
what
a
is
funny guy, man.
It was oh yeah, you got your own person with them.
Yeah.
And then the other one was it was a craze. That one was random. That one was random, dude. He gave us the USB of like unreleased songs, a signed poster, and it was empty.
It was
like, I would say like maybe 50 people, like closer to 50, 60 people. Keizo, people like standing on like the booths, like all the way to the back, jumping up and down. Like I have never seen that many people.
It was
upstairs.
such a vibe though. It was pretty crazy.
all that to say is those 2 experiences were so memorable for me. But how the hell do you stay in the know? Like, you know, and the Lil Wayne thing too at the
Yeah.
Amazon Music like warehouse that they have
For $15, man.
$15. Roy's in the know. How are you in the know?
I think it's just I go to so many things that I meet so many people, and like I said earlier, good vibes attract good vibes. And I feel like if you meet someone and you really like them, you would invite them to some, and so people would invite me to go to things, and then I would invite them when I do know about something, and it kind of just like we're exchanging favors and helping each other out, and then at these things that we're invited to, you meet new people, so it just kind of starts growing exponentially. And at this time, I'm also pretty sure like I post enough about raves, I watch enough raves like reels and stuff on Instagram where it's just like I'm just like the prime algorithm. Like, I'm just like the prime target demographic of that algorithm. So I just see stuff all the time, and I guess I'm just subscribed to a lot of things. And yeah, like the funny part is I don't like go out of my way to look for these things, you know. And
They
I
find
believe,
you.
yeah, like I personally, like I genuinely believe in life, everything happens for a reason, and I try to like even the shitty things, you know, like. You gotta have the bad things to appreciate the good things. Or else you just become like an entitled person and you just take everything for granted.
Right.
So yeah, so things just happen. Like this entire week, I obviously only planned on going to the birthdays events because they're birthdays and those are set. Nothing else. Like everything would just appear and just be like RSVP for this, like tickets drop for this, like want to go to this, and I'm like sure. Like it's like, yeah, I'm just blessed with the people around me because like I like literally days I just expect nothing. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just rest, and they're like, oh, we got free tickets to this, and like I'm like one of the first people they think about, and they like just offer it to me for like nothing, and like I'm just like, I guess I'll go if it's free, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'll just take someone else
For the experience.
Yeah, I'll just bless someone else if I like can't bring anyone I know, you know. So it's just kind of like good karma, you know, like it's just whatever energy you put out there, you're going to get it back in return. And
Right.
it's just, hopefully the cycle just keeps going, like, because it's been working out for me.
And how's life been so far for you right now?
It's been crazy good. Like, I really have no complaints.
Well, knock on wood for you.
Oh, yeah. But my health is, like, pretty good. My people, my social is good. Like, I think the only thing that could be better is my job. I'm not gonna talk too much about that, but yeah, other than like a career, I feel like I'm just pretty satisfied with everything I have. Like people like like for like my birthday this year, they'd be like, oh, what do you want? Like you know, like what do you want to do? Stuff of things, and I'm like, dude, I really don't want or need anything more. I really feel like I have everything, and I'm like so fulfilled, and I like would never take any of that for granted. So like I'm definitely in a better place than a lot of people are, and because I've been down there before, like all of like 2021, 22. I went through my trial, you
Dude,
know,
yeah,
like
you were
my
through
initiation, bro. That was literally like my test, like, and yeah, like I pushed through and like found the right people, and then yeah, all the pieces started coming together, and now sort of kind of like figured it out more.
In terms of your work, you're pretty big shoe head too.
Yeah.
And just fashion head in general.
Yeah.
How'd you even get started? That was just the environment and culture when you were in Hong Kong?
It was funny because like I used to be like just like a big nerd. It's a game called Roblox.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Like it was some tough time. I used to be just like a gamer, like a nerd, you know, it's like an introvert. Like people were like, I can't see that. There's like no way. I was like so opposite of like who I am today. And like obviously I wasn't like the most popular kid, you know. I wasn't like I didn't have that many friends back in this was when I first went to Hong Kong because I was born here in America in California, and I kept getting in trouble. I was expelled multiple times. So my mom was like, all right, we're done with American education system. You're going to a British international school in Hong Kong, a private school. So I was like, oh, shoot, okay. And then so I'm like there, and I'm like, hate everybody, hate life, hate the environment, hate the weather, like hate the location, like everything. I was just a hater. So I was like, I'm just going to stick to myself. And I just kind of like just by myself. And then at some point, I'm just like, this life kind of sucks. So, like I like see other people like they're hanging out with like groups of like homies. Like, you got like the boys, and I'm like I want to be part of the boys, you know. Like I want to be like kind of cool. So But at that time, so I kind of like just. It took me a long time to sell all of my Roblox stuff because I used to. That's where the purple came from. Like I monopolized every purple item in that game, and I was probably one of the top 10 richest like Roblox players at one time.
Oh my god.
That's where the name Purple Perfection, my IG handle, came from because it was a hat on Roblox, and I literally had every purple thing on that game. And like whoever wanted something purple, like they'd have to go through me, and I would just inflate the prices like high. So I taught myself how to monopolize things as like a kid, you know. But I didn't watch cartoons or anything. I was literally just grinding this type of thing out. And back then PayPal was not very strict. So I literally got like a little like kind of like a rechargeable like credit card thing from like a 7-Eleven in Hong Kong, and I attached it to my PayPal because you didn't need to link a bank account back then, and I didn't have a bank account. I was like 14, right. So I was like, that was my only way of like starting something. And once I made a PayPal account, I started like selling my things to other kids on Roblox, and I made like a lot of money as a kid.
Yeah.
Even more than I do now. but I made a lot of money as a kid, and I'm just like, all right, time to like start cashing things out, like, and be tangible, you know, like, because everything was virtual. Like I wish I took crypto back then. I literally got offered like 4 like Bitcoin.
No way.
On, like stuff back then. And I was like, I don't want to trade like one currency for another currency. What the hell is this stupid like fake currency? Like, you know, like, and I was a kid. I knew nothing about it. Like that thing wasn't even huge back then, you know. But if it did right now, I'd be chilling. But that would be one of my top regrets for sure. But yeah. So I wanted to cash out for something like you know, more like real, you know. And then I started really getting like shoes and stuff. And it's funny because back then I used to just wear like the same like Beat Skechers. And I'm like, why do I need like nice shoes? Like I got like holes in them. You can see my socks underneath. And it was like not a fashion trend. And and my mom would like kept forcing me to buy shoes every time we came back to America. And at one point we had a trip to go to Vegas. Caesar's Palace, that Nike store inside. I don't know if you remember. It's by that Cheesecake Factory.
I don't think so.
Palace. Okay, but I go to there all the time. I literally went there again this year. It's just 'cause that's where I started all. My dad forced me to buy a pair of Nike shoes, and that's where he fucked up. And now I have 270 pairs of shoes because of that. But yeah.
270 pairs?
Yeah, I told myself I was not going over 250. I bought 16 pairs last week.
Oh my god.
But you know, I spend money to make money.
Right.
You know? Like I'm not keeping all of these. Like 90 pairs are purple. That's what I am keeping. But
so you keep those.
But most of them, like, I just buy them to like flip, or buy them, wear a little bit, and flip, which is the great part about shoes because you can literally just like I continue my story back then. Like once I got into shoes, like I literally just started like buying a lot more Jordans and stuff in my area. Like in Hong Kong, it's so safe. I literally take public transportation, go anywhere, and just meet up with adults and like this little kid with like cash, you know, like. And then I've been buying a lot of those shoes, and it's funny because I don't wear a lot of those anymore. And like I was gonna say earlier, like shoes are kind of like an investment, and a lot of those shoes that I bought for back then, I wore them a shit ton of times over years. Like they're like somewhere like the midsole is like coming off, you know, like it's like ungluing, it's like beat up, and I'm still selling it for more than what I got it for. So really? I'm literally just renting it for all these years, just using it as part of my wardrobe, and then now just making a profit off of it like many years later. So that's just how I kind of see it. Like that's why I like to buy like branded items, you know, not just like, oh, I'm just like here to flex Gucci or whatever the fuck, you know, like I'm here to just like, I like things that hold its value, you know, and so I try to be like very selective about certain brands and certain styles, and that's just kind of how I maintain my like my shoe stuff.
So you know the market pretty well too.
At this point, yeah. Back then, I was like a kid, you know, obviously. So I wouldn't be able to tell like fake from real as much as I do now, and I wouldn't know what was like cool because Jordan is good with like Jordan, Nike. They're good at like tricking people. They would like make the coveted silhouettes, like the Jordan retros, like 1 to 14 line. Those would be like a higher retail price, and then they would make a budget version of it, like it's a lot cheaper, and it looks so similar. If you weren't a sneakerhead, you would not be able to tell, like unless it was right next to each other. And yeah, so I would be tricked and buy like the cheaper one. He's like, oh my God, I can afford it, type of thing. And then later on, like down the road, like 3 years later, I'm like, dude, I got fucking finesse from Nike, bro. Like I'm like, these are cringe. So I would just like donate them, like, like, cause I'd rather just give them to somebody like than like force myself to sell it, because no one even really wants to buy those, like resell. So I just like would just like give them away. Because they're still real shoes, like people can wear them, like I think people don't understand that. But even if they're fake shoes, people can still wear them. Like, yeah. But as long as you're not just like flipping them, passing them off as real, whatever. But yeah.
What's your most valuable piece in your collection right now of your 270?
It used to be the Dior Jordan ones, but I sold those. But now, probably these Louis Vuitton Kanye's. It's like before Kanye went to Adidas, before he went to Nike even. It was when it like first started. I think this shoe released in 2008 or something like that. It was when he was starting to get like designer, like all that stuff. Yeah, it's called like the Louis Vuitton Patchwork Dawn. Yeah, it was a Kanye collab. Super cool, like super premium materials, all that. I honestly don't know how much it's worth, but I think it's maybe like a few racks. But it's just,
damn.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't wear it all the time. Like I wear it for special occasions. I still do wear it. It's like a shoe. I didn't pay that much, obviously. I would never pay a market price for a shoe unless I really, really, really wanted it. And most of the time, like I feel like I don't want something that bad. Like there's so many alternatives out there. Like I pretty much have everything I want. So that's pretty much like. Yeah.
What's your favorite pair? Like your favorite pair you have?
My favorite pair. It's kind of hard because like I don't really like, because I have so many. I prefer like in shoes, not people. I prefer quantity over quality because I like to just have my options, But if I had to choose one, it'd probably just like be the Jordan 1 High Court Purple 1.0s. And the funny story about that is that I actually customized a pair of Jordan 1s to look exactly like that before Nike even officially announced it or released it. Because I wanted a pair of Jordan 1s that were purple. They didn't have that back then, not a high top one. And I'm just like, well, I'm gonna go make one. I just bought some like Angelus paint, like leather paint, and just like painted it myself. I remember I started like Instagram like pictures of me at 3 a.m. in the morning painting this shit. And then Nike released it 2 years later. And I'm just like, well, I guess I gotta go buy the real one, like, or else I look like I'm just poor. Yeah. So, but I think it was just like that story, and I think that was because that was my first pair of Jordan 1s too. That's probably still one of my favorite shoes. Like I literally have a wall of them. I think I showed you that picture of my living room.
Oh, of your shoes?
Yeah. Just the Jordan 1s.
Yes, yeah.
And I have them in like 50 different colors. It's just like that silhouette is so clean, like, yeah. So. That's probably my favorite shoe if I had to go to one. Like, I wear that so much. Like, I beat the hell out of it. I took it to festivals and stuff, too. But, if you love your shoes, you got to wear them,
Right.
So.
You can't just have them on the stands and admire them. In terms of fashion, too, what are your favorite brands that you wear? Or, like, what do you look for, honestly? Because you have... I've rarely seen you not wear purple. Everything you have is purple, which is crazy.
Yeah. I do have a lot of things that are not purple, just to diversify. I mean, there's some special holidays like St. Patrick's Day, like I wear something like green, like. But favorite brands, I really like Stussy. I really like Undefeated. I used to really like Bape and stuff, but I feel like I kind of grew out of that. The hoodies with like the shark. I feel like I'm a little old to wear stuff like that nowadays. Like
and you said they went downhill too since they sold the company.
It's because it used to be like very just like Japanese, and like now like someone from Hong Kong bought over it, and then it's just not the same, like just because it's a brand doesn't mean like you're just set for life. Like even Supreme is dying, like because like the hype is still not there, and they're just generating a bunch of bullshit every weekend, overpriced stuff, like some really weird stuff, it's just not as cool as it used to be before. So brands don't live forever, like that's the thing about fashion is that it's always changing and sometimes hard to keep up, like it's expensive too. It's an expensive hobby, and it literally things would just change if a celebrity wore it once. Like if Kanye wore Skechers, boom, Skechers are
it just
in.
pops up, yeah.
The light ups, bro, you'll see them everywhere. But yeah, let's see what other brands. I mean, this is like a lot of like designer brands. I feel like they're really overpriced. I try not to pay full price for things because I'm in like certain groups and stuff where they would have hookups, like, and they're real, you know, like it's, I almost never paid, I actually never paid full price for any designer item except for my Gucci wallet, which I bought in Shanghai because my family ditched me for Christmas one day.
Was this when we were abroad?
No, this is my freshman year. Because I was doing school out here in California and my family was still in Hong Kong. I was going to surprise them and go visit them in Hong Kong for Christmas. And then, so I do. And then 2 days later, they tell me that they have tickets to come back to California. And I was still in Hong Kong for another like 2 weeks. And then they were like, oh yeah, we got tickets to go to like Canada too. And I'm like, they bought 3 tickets. So they clearly knew that I was not going to be part of it. And I'm like, the hell? Like, so I'm like just in Hong Kong in the house by myself. Luckily, I had some other homie that also got ditched by his family. So when you have 2 depressed people, you usually just send something. So we were like, oh, never been to Shanghai. Let's just go. And that was my first time. And I loved it. That's where I met Say My Name for the first time in the club. I didn't know who he was. He's a like a trap DJ. You know, Say My Nitty? Like that's kind of like, oh, okay. I'll show you some stuff later.
All right, hell yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know he was famous, but I just went to a club and I was like just vibing so hard. He invited me to go on stage, gave me like a bottle and all that. I was dancing with him. And then like later on I looked him up. I'm like, who is this guy? He's so nice, you know? Like I'm like, wait, people actually know this guy. Like he's not like some like local DJ, you know, like yeah, and he was pretty sick. Like that was like my first like I guess interaction with like a DJ. And then so I love Shanghai and then that's where I was decided to I was like
there,
yeah. Well, that wasn't the only reason. You
know
the other reason,
I know
but
the other reason.
but
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not. Shout out to the other reason, because otherwise I would not have met you.
Yeah, but you know, if you know, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. No regrets. You know, like I like everything worked out as it should. You know, everything happens for a reason. So
yeah, I'm glad. Dude. My experience in Shanghai with you, we studied abroad in Shanghai, just for as to get some background on it, but yeah, we lived in a room of 4 people.
Shout out Brendan and Big.
Brendan and Big. That was quite the group that we had. Honestly, I'm so blessed for that room. I'm so blessed.
It was like such
room.
A joke. Like it shouldn't have happened. Like,
No.
but it happened. Like, yeah, it was so random. And I wish y'all went out with me more. You know.
I know. That was the time I didn't do anything. I was like, that was when I was like focusing on myself, stop drinking, all that stuff, and.
Second semester gets to you, man. Like after you got it all out first semester, you know. And then,
yeah, even that, I was just like, it was more of the group, but I was just like, you know, and I wish I got to try with you more. I think it was more towards the end. I'm like, damn, because you were always with the other group. I didn't have time. And then the more we got to know each other, I'm like, oh, fuck. I really, really, really wish we had some more time. But then after that, when we came back, we still kept in touch. And then, you know,
that's when we knew we were like, all right.
Yeah,
the homie,
exactly.
Homie.
Yeah. I pulled up to whenever you were living at Dante for your birthday, and we just like whenever we were free, went through and then kicked it whenever. So
and we had like a little other projects too. Remember when we did like Live For, like
your
shirt thing?
Oh my god, dude!
was...
Shout out to that. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had a cool idea. Shout out to this man. I don't know if I have the shirt, but I know I do have the shirt. I got 2 of them, and I know you too. You helped me design. Like I needed help with the design. You were so into fashion. I know a damn thing. And I want to start this clothing brand with my boy Jake Crumb. Shout out Crumb. And we want to screen print clothes, but we want to do it ourselves. We don't want to outsource it, right? To make it by hand, which is the hardest thing. I'm never doing that again. You have to have a passion and patience. Oh yeah, I learned. But you came up with the design where it said like live, but it was like more in the barcode. And then like made in Calabasas 2020, right? Like worked on that together. You had like the main idea. I'm like, this is dope, and I love it. And it was awesome. Like it was just such a cool experience to do that the one time. Obviously, like kind of wish I stuck with it, but so much other stuff came up. But that was a really cool experience.
Yeah, cause I never designed I did for like clubs and stuff like that, but it was cool to see it like made like and like I'm having a homie do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like for some other just random org. It was just like a personal project and a passion, and I just like fucked with the mission you had behind it. So I was just like, all right, you know.
Maybe down the line when I have more funds and more free time to see what happens, I'll be happy to get back into doing that.
Funds
But
definitely help for sure.
yeah, I was looking back at it and like I would so many good ideas. Obviously, not enough time and not enough funds.
Mhm.
I
In the future, man.
Dude, yeah, in the future it'll
Yeah.
definitely come up and it'll happen.
But I think another cool thing that we had was that the gaming thing that could have happened, bro, if it wasn't for COVID.
Oh wait,
Remember
was the
the
gaming thing?
the SIGAP and Pepperdine Gaming Club thing?
No, what happened? Oh no, it remind me. It's been
No, it was like
so
the Mario
long.
Kart competition and the
Oh
Smash.
right.
That, bro,
Right.
that was about to be like the
That was
first,
before COVID happened,
yeah,
right?
and then, and then we were also like designing stuff for that too, and then like the event was gonna be planned, all the logistics. We're gonna have the entire freaking like wherever
near the
we ate
calf?
lunch. Yeah, the calf.
Yeah, and the little
We're
the
planning
room
out where the
next to
TV
it.
outlets were gonna be, all that stuff. It was gonna like be crazy, and that was the first. I was like, I think it was gonna be like the first time like a non-affiliated like organization was
Pairs
gonna-
up with the
like a
with fraternity.
Yeah. And I was gonna like, let's make some history.
Yeah.
I think that would have been so sick, bro. But
COVID screwed everything up, man.
yeah, I was gonna bring Riot Games to my gaming club too.
Riot Games?
Yeah, because we got sponsored because we had a League of Legends team and stuff, and they actually
remember that
won.
too.
They beat Irvine that year, and that was crazy. Overwatch team didn't do so hot, but yeah, but that league team was pretty crazy. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I know. And then now I'm like completely pivoted from like gaming culture just because it's just not for me. Like,
Yeah. I mean, probably not even now. I just don't have like personally me. I don't have the time for that anymore.
Yeah.
I have stuff I want to work on.
I just think it's something like the chat and stuff like that, like PogChamp, like what? It's like it's not for me. But yeah.
I wanted to ask too on another note. Just random though. When if you want to talk about it, your whole year of celibacy. Was that through the acid trip, or was that just like I'm done with everything? And then I want to talk about your little proposal to your girl.
Oh my god.
It's nothing like an actual proposal, FYI. It's just more like him asking his girl to be his girlfriend. But that whole story was great. Like in terms of you
first
talking
time
about
ever.
organization, that was wild. But yeah, go back to the first one, just spending a whole year celibate. I don't even
Yeah.
like when you said that to me. When we last met, like last year. I like what?
I know people
what are you
didn't believe
talking
it.
about?
People were like, no way. Like, yeah. So, because I'm like demisexual. So, for those that don't know what it is, it kind of falls under the branch of like asexual, and I only get sexual attraction to people that I have a really good connection with, like a personal connection with. I'm still straight. Like I still don't get me wrong. Like we cool. Don't worry about anything. But no, but like so. But yeah, so I need to be super close to someone to even develop those like type of things. So like so unlike a lot of my boys, I'm not as naturally horny as any of them. I don't like need it. I don't get that craving. Like I just like vibe. I like having friends. Like but that's why most of my friends are girls. You know, like it's just I think maybe they feel like comfortable because it's just like we're just cool. And so in the past I've dated a lot of girls. Like it's kind of like a serial monogamous.
Serial dater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you just stay back to back to back to back. And then
You never had a break in between any of them?
I had like maybe like a few months between them. Like,
Oh, Christ,
maybe
okay.
Don't want to name any names, but
Okay, yeah.
a few of them were
No names.
different. And but yeah, it just got me like reflecting because I never like really officially like asked out any girl, and I kind of just go with the flow. You know, like
Yeah, it
it's-
just blended, right? It just happened.
yeah. We start off as like friends, and things happen. I'm like, you're cool. Like, and then like and it was just we're unofficially dating, and it just becomes official because of how long we're unofficially dating.
Right.
You know, and then and yeah, and I'm just obviously because I didn't stay with them, it didn't work out. You know, like it's just this wasn't the way. So I was all right. I really do need to take a break, and the trip did help a little bit of that. It helped me draw like my boundaries, and because I really blended a lot of those, I compromised a lot of like who I am, all my morals, what I believed in, and yeah, just who I was in a person, because for like just like as a sacrifice, you know, just because I want to make it work and stuff like that. But I feel like I kept trying to force things, like not like force, like I forced my mind to think that it's gonna be better or it's gonna like work out, but you sometimes red flags don't change colors, man. If it's red, it's gonna be red. You can't switch to green. Like they're both primary colors,
Heard.
dude. Like so it was never gonna happen. But I was like, oh, for the sake of love or whatever, like I'm gonna stick through it. Maybe things will be better. New mindset, whatever. Don't work. And then so I was like, okay, I really need to take a break from just like any emotional attachment like that. Girls, whatever, and just like focus on myself, focus on friends, career, and just like just everyone I already have, just appreciate those people a lot more, and just like experiences and just like living for myself. And then that's probably why I was like a nutcase and went to 73 raves last year. But
get your mind off.
Yeah, I had just to feel something, man. Just to keep myself distracted. So. But yeah, so kind of did all that just like to focus on other things, and it really did help because I think the best like relationships come when you don't look for it, but also when you also feel the same way about it, like when you kind of like test out the waters, don't jump in too quick. And with this last girl, with this current girl, oh shit, with this current girl, I met her at a rave. It was funny because I met her at a Griffin show. That show, I was actually trying to help a homie find a rave bait. It was not for me. It was not for me. I had no intentions. I don't really look for any rave baits type of thing, and I was still doing my celibacy thing. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna help her out. I'll help him out. And then, but one of her friends like was like just pointing at me, like signal me to like go talk to her, and I was like, I guess I will. Like, and then it just kind of happened, and then I was like, oh, she's cool, she's sweet, and then stay connected with her. And then found out she was an AK Psi as well. She goes to UCR. And I'm like, damn, it's far. And I'm like, I don't think anything's happening. And I'm just like, well, whatever. I'll just like invite her to go out next week, on a Thursday night to go to another like event. Uh-huh. And she's like, yeah, I'm down. And she drives all the way. I'm like, oh, sick. She's cool. Like, she's driving out. And then the week after, I invite her to another thing. She drives out. I'm like, all right, there's no way this girl's playing games and driving all this way out. Like, she would make me drive out. So I'm like, okay, maybe something could be like had happened from this. Right. She seems super sweet. But then she's just always like she's like under the influence. So I'm like, okay, I want to gauge this properly. I'm like, all right, let's hang out sober. Let's like be able to like talk to each other, like crazy music in the background, just like one-on-one, Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then our like first date, we just got like dumplings. We met at Walnut. That's like our go-to spot now. It's just like in the middle of like where I live and where she lives. And so none of us have to make that insane drive. Right. And then, yeah, we just like literally chilled in the car and like just talked for like until 4 a.m. in the morning. And I went to work at like 8. And then she had class at like 9. And then so yeah, it was just, and I'm just like, okay, something could really happen. And then yeah, I told her like my year of celibacy was still not up. I told her I had to like really honor that for myself because I made a promise, like, and once I make a promise, I will keep it. Like, I've not broken a promise since 2009. I will not reveal what that promise was, but that changed me. And then ever since, I've been so committed to what I say, and I make sure everything I say is like genuine and intentional. Mm. So I was like, yeah, like I just straight up told her, I'm like, look, I'm not playing games with you. Like, I'm not just like trying to fuck around, whatever. I'm not making you wait for no reason, but I'm doing this thing. And if you're willing to wait for me by the end of this year, I'll make it up to you and stuff like that. And I told her, I was like, because she said she was going to go to Countdown. And I told her, I was like, oh, for New Year's, I'm going to this other rave in Philly, the one where I saw Grizz. And that was between like the dates of like 28 to like the 31st of December. And then, yeah, and then I was like, technically I could still make it. And then I was like thinking about my plan and all that. I'm like, this is going to be a big send. And then, and I was like, I'm still like super like unsure because of the weather, and a lot of flights were getting canceled that year too. And for my Christmas present, she got me a Countdown ticket. So I'm like, oh God, I have to go now. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out. I'll make it work. So yeah, I was at my rave in Philly. And then end of 31st, checked out of my hotel at like 10 a.m. in the morning, drove from Philly. Shout out to all the homies that made this happen, man. Like, yeah, so Scott had a car, drove me from Philly to New York because that's where my flight was. And then took my flight from New York to, I think it was like to Baltimore first because we had like a layover. And then, I don't know why I was over there. And then took that flight to California, to LAX, and arrived, and our flight was delayed, and I was so nervous. I was literally like looking at like the flight like things all the time. Yeah, because everyone's flights were getting canceled. Everyone, but not mine.
No.
And I was just like praying. I'm like, bro, this is the one thing that will stop me from making it on time. Cause and then yeah, and then luckily it worked out. We were still delayed a little bit, and then landed at LAX. And then my boy Andy picked me up from LAX. Literally had him on the phone ready. Told him when we were leaving the plane. And then got there right like when we walked out of the departure. And then drove us to Alan's house, which we parked Hugh's car, one of my other homies. And then Hugh drove that car to Nos when we were like there. And then, but it was raining that night. It was pouring rain.
It was pouring rain.
And then I remember still trying to get you your ticket and like.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks for that too.
Of course. But yeah, we were only able to do like max 50 miles per hour on the freeway. It was.
Oh yeah, no, it was drenched.
We didn't want to like skid or anything. Like it was. Yeah, but it was
one piece.
It was really I was like Hugh, I'd rather we make it there than like not make it at all, you know, like, so I'm just like, all right, let's take it slow. And then luckily I scouted out parking spots ahead of time in that area in like the Nos because it's really hard to park. And then I bribed someone to park in their driveway, and then so parked there, and then got like a shortcut to the Nas event. And then I luckily Signal was working. So I was like texting her, and I was like, I'm here, let's meet up by here. And I meet up with her. And then this was, I think it was like around 11, like 04 or something like that PM. And then obviously I said my celibacy was going to end at the end of the year. So what better place than Countdown? So we're at Slander set, and then he did the countdown thing. And it was like, oh, Happy New Year. And then, you know, got my New Year's kiss. And then I was like, and I asked her out there because I'm just like, it's a new year. You know what that means? I had like a little, like a fake, like inflatable microphone. I literally like interviewed her like this, like, and I just asked her to be my girlfriend, and then made her like a little like pearler as well with like the heart hand. Cause she always, we used to always just do that together. And it was purple because her favorite color is purple.
Oh,
so,
yeah, no, she was a lot more like you too. She's also sneakerhead and everything.
Yeah, like, am I a narcissist for dating someone that's exactly like me? Like, it's just like, it's kind of scary, you know? Like, I thought she was like just agreeing with me, copying me, just like, because she didn't want issues or whatever. But no, she's me. Like, but yeah, Ben. So everything worked out, and shout out to everyone that made it happen. But yeah, I remember I did an entire vlog too.
Really?
Yeah. Did I never show you that vlog?
No, show me this after.
Yeah, I'll show you this. It's not well edited, but you get the point.
cares?
You know,
Yeah,
like
of course.
it's
It's
just for
sentimental and
memories.
it, like, yeah, it
Exactly,
just catches
yeah.
the memory.
Yeah, because my boy Hugh, I told him to do portrait mode because I filmed all my things portrait mode. He did a landscape mode.
Oh no.
And he didn't have the flash on, so it was dark as fuck during countdown. I was
no.
asking her out. You could like barely hear me, and I'm just like, it's okay. Like
Party foul. Well, you still got something.
something, you know, like, so I still appreciate the thought. There's a thought that counts. But yeah, so it made it happen, and so I was like, it's meant to happen
Right.
because it worked out.
What was the hardest part of your of that year?
Hardest part about year? Hardest part about that year. I feel like the hardest part about year was probably just like the 50 thing, or because that's where I really had to start like just distancing myself, like cutting some people off, you know, and like I had to make some hard choices, but the best choices are not ever easy to make, you know, like you just gotta do it. And so I really thought a lot about like every single person, and like I'm sure some people were offended because they could tell I like kind of
Distance yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then but I'm like why should I like care that much? Not like they really helped me in any way, you know, like they're just like, we're just there, you know, like so I feel like that was kind of like the hard part because I had to just do like cutoffs and stuff, you know, but it was necessary, and it made up. It all worked out, you know. Like now everything is like, it's like chill. Like I figured it out, and the people around me are like perfect this year. So, yeah.
They're not purple though, so
No.
purple perfection.
Nope.
And kind of one of the last things I wanted to mention too about this. We were talking about it quickly before we got Starbucks, but one of your biggest blessings, would you say, or your favorite memories, is actually attending Pepperdine?
Oh, that was my anti-blessing.
Oh, your anti-blessing? Let's talk about that then. The opposite then.
I mean,
because I feel the sentiment with you partially, but in the end, I'm very grateful for that experience.
Everything definitely worked out as a way, like everything worked out because I feel like I had to like make it work out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I feel like I definitely would have thrived in a way bigger environment, in like a way more centralized LA like spot too. And like cool, Malibu is nice, but after like what you see the beach like 85 times, like you're done. Like we didn't even get the view for the last year and a half. Anyways,
Oh
like,
yeah, no.
I'm like, why am I at Pepperdine? You know,
You paid full price too.
yeah, because I really thought like I first visited the school because I thought it was like, oh, people are super nice. Like when I was doing my little tour, and I'm like, oh, if, like it's Christians, like you know, they must be like friendly, make some friends. Then there's like the hardcore Christians that are like they're like pious or like they claim they are, you know, and they're like just haters, you know. Like I'm a Christian too, but I just believe in love and like I accept everybody, you know, and like I live by like a lot of the morals and like the beliefs of it. But like even though I guess I don't go to church I stopped going for a while now. But yeah, if anything, like Pepperdine pushed me away from Christianity because of how forced they had it. Like how they forced it onto everyone in literally everything. Like we're in math class. Oh, let's thank God for numbers or something. Like I don't know. Like obviously numbers man-made, but that was an example. Like it's like I get why people are upset about it because if I'm like annoyed and I'm a Christian myself, like I can't imagine these other people who are just here to do class. You know, like the obvious like a convo and stuff. Like I get it because that's the type of school we are. You know, and I had no problems with those. But you don't have to incorporate everything. You don't have like do a reflection paper. Oh, how has God helped you on like reflecting on like this book about Shakespeare? I don't know. It's just like everything was forced, and then obviously a lot of narcs. You know, like it's just, like I had issues with who I had to trust.
Oh yeah.
Well, we had one Turkish individual too. Like she was a little special.
Oh,
so.
all right. I don't even want to give her the energy or the time. No.
Oh, yeah, I'm not name dropping her.
No.
Just in case she like
hell no
uses this like catapult herself to being infamous or whatever.
I wish her well, sending her love, light, blessings all around. I hope she's successful and healthy in every way of life. May God bless her.
Exactly.
I do not want to talk about her at all.
I never wish someone to graduate
Faster.
So
Yeah, just rooting for their success. Please go. Just go be successful, please.
Yeah, but definitely a lot of like just people who are very like, I guess judgmental and stuff. You know, I'm just like just because you don't like it, just you don't like it. You know, you don't have to like hate people for it. Just it's not for you. Just do your own thing. You know, if it's not affecting you in any way, then just leave it. And yeah, like I feel like there was not much like livelihood. Obviously, like there are like frat parties and like underground events. You know,
we're in Malibu. It's a secluded area. You can't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it's just not the same as like just attending events easily. And it's not like we had the best like speakers or special guests. Like freaking literally UCR had Wooly this year. And Pierre as like we had Hunter Hayes one of the years. I'm just like what? Like at least give us Hillsong if you want something like kind of like in that realm, you know?
Yeah.
Someone cool, you know? We definitely have the budget because tuition is expensive. But yeah, so that's another issue. It's just so expensive for no reason. And the years that we did the last year, our senior year, when we had to just stay at home and stuff, online classes. It was more expensive than the years
year
that we
before,
were on class.
And it was all on Zoom.
I'm like, are you serious, bro? Like,
yeah.
So, and then it's not like our professors were the best. Like, staffs were not the best. Like, but it really were like, I think the most redeeming part was just the people that I met, you know.
And also for you to be part of the community too, because you were very, very, very much involved, whether it be AK Sci or the gaming club.
Yeah, like it's kind of like going back to what I said earlier. Like I had to like try hard. Like I really had to try hard to make the experience fulfilling, to have a good time. Like I think I can do that in any setting. you know. But I feel like in some of the other schools, I didn't maybe have to try as hard. I
Right.
could have maybe just like gone with the flow or just like thrive naturally. But there, I had to like literally work for everything I got just to get to like this point, you know. But no regrets, man. No regrets. But that was
100%.
definitely one of the biggest like, what would you have maybe done differently? Yeah. But then I'm happy with everything the way it is now. So,
Yeah. I want to met your ass. So
yeah.
well, I fucking love you, dude. I guess what was the biggest blessing then? Because that was my main question. What was the biggest blessing?
Yeah. My biggest blessing is probably just the people, you know, like just people around in my life. I'm so fulfilled in that way. Like I got my family. Well, I'm really only close to my immediate family. Like everyone else is like in Hong Kong. I don't really talk to them much. They all hate me for not being a doctor. So that's like, Asian stereotypes are real, man. I have like all my friends, all my homies, bro. Like different continents, like everywhere around me, different types of people. So like, just if I ever wanted to do anything, I would have a different type of person for that. You know, like it's like it's just nice about that. And then love my girlfriend. You know, she's like honestly the best. Like we've been together for nearly like half a year now, and literally have not had a single argument. It's like, if I wanted to start an argument, I don't even know what we'll argue about. I literally talked to her about that. I'm like, what do you think our first argument is going to be about? And she's like, maybe it's because I'm late. I'm like, the thing I'm working on this year is patience. That is like, that's my goal of this year. It's because like I value efficiency a lot. I like to get things done, you know? And I'm a big like planner, but people are always late around me, and I have to drill it in. I'm like, guys, we can't be late for these certain things, you know. And she's always late to stuff too, but now she's a lot better. Mainly just like sometimes her friends, and but I'm trying to learn to be patient in like every way, you know. Just try to be open minded and understand people's perspective, just be in their shoes, even if they're not Nikes or Jordans. But like but yeah, just try to be more understanding. So, but yeah, it's a blessing for everyone around my life. It's a blessing for the 50. For my family, you know. So, yeah.
Beautiful, man. Anything you want to say to people you think that you mentioned already?
I feel like I don't need to say anything more than the way I like treat them, because they know how I feel, and I like to convey that through actions, not words. So, yeah.
That's true. That's the real way to talk.
To
know how you really feel. But yeah, man. Roy, thank you for joining, man.
Of course.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Brother, man, I got you. And some interesting stuff. So I appreciate you. Obviously, appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out here.
Dude, of course. At least I got to sleep here. Like,
yeah.
I just had somewhere to crash. Like,
of course.
Yeah, I didn't want to just drive all the way, because coast to coast, bro, basically. Like, it's so far.
But now go back. Hopefully you have someone a restful day, but man. But I appreciate you.
Likewise, man.
All right, love you, dog. That be it. Peace.